to the Activate series. Today we're going to be talking about something very important. We're going to be diving into the world of politics. Elections around the corner. I want to see how we can lend our voices and share our thoughts on the 2023 elections. Right, so I have a friend of mine, somebody who is very outspoken. She has been very outspoken about Nigeria, the things that are happening, bad governance, and all of that. So, her being outspoken actually is one of the reasons why I had to, get her on board on the Activate series, so we could just, toss our ideas back and forth and talk about the 2023 general elections, right? So, help me welcome Mary Maha. Mary, thank you for coming.
Hi, Joshua.
Yeah, I know
Thank you for having me here.
I know you have a very busy schedule, so I really appreciate you taking our time to, share your thoughts with me on today's episode of the Activate series, right? So, we're going to be talking about elections, the state of Nigeria, what next year holds for us. Elections is just next year, very close actually. So I want to just ask a few questions and see what the hope is for the ordinary Nigerian coming next year or before and after the elections, right? So first off, I want to ask you, do you think there is hope for Nigeria? A lot of people are in despair. A lot of people have given up hope already, right? You agree with me that a lot of young people are fleeing the country, going abroad in search of greener pastures because a lot of things are not in place. A lot of things are not in order. There's insecurity, there's inflation, there is a poor economic structure, and a host of other bad things to say about Nigeria. Right, so do you really think the next election holds any kind of hope for Nigeria?
This is a tough one to answer. But look at everything empirically.
Yeah.
You could say there's no hope for Nigeria.
Okay.
Because if you're looking at everywhere solutions that come from, you're looking at the military, you're looking at the legislature, if you're looking at even the executive, like everything seems hopeless.
Yeah.
But I'm also a hopeful person. I think cases where everything looks hopeless, but somehow I just believe there's still light at the end of the tunnel. But it's not just because we should be successful. I believe if we can rise up, everybody is living the country. A number of people say they don't want to die.
And you really wouldn't blame them for leaving the country.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But sometimes I ask, if you leave the country, you have loved ones behind.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have what it takes to take everyone out.
Yeah.
You have what it takes to take your friends out. So, are you really going to be justified because singular salvation?
Yeah.
Because you are just there. So I still believe if we could do this and that, if we could shake the country, I still believe there's hope. If we are determined, I believe.
Okay. So there's hope, but hope, things won't just change because we desire them to change, right? If I should understand what you're saying, we need to be determined. We need to take the right steps to see that there's change. Okay. In the next elections, 2023 elections, there's been a lot of conversation. There's been a lot of talk about the third force, right? Is there going to be a third party, or are we still going to use the same APC and PDP we've known? Some people are of the opinion that, well, you can't really create a third force per se, but you can change things from the inside, right? I think 2 days ago, thereabout, Banky W, we know he's a very outspoken Nigerian who has been talking against bad governance and all of that. So he joined the PDP recently, right? And a lot of people are like, okay, yeah, the whole thing about a third force, a third or a new political party is just a scam. Because you wouldn't really pull any weight. If you want to effect any change, you have to effect any change. All the changes you need to effect from inside or from within, right? So what are your thoughts? What do you think about a third force? Because most of what we've known in Nigeria politics is APC and PDP. So do you really think there's a third party, there's a new candidate, there's something new? Can we expect something new from what it has always been?
Okay, so if we're talking about the third force, specific has to be emphasized.
Okay.
We've seen cases of third party, in Nigeria, where we have aggrieved members of, previous parties move, and the form APC was just a party that we could call the third force.
Yeah.
We had ANPP and PDP.
Yeah.
And then from the two, we had APC. So, are we talking about, recycling old cargo, forming aggrieved members of former parties coming to? Then that's not a third force. It's still same ideology, same principles, which they are running this existing parties. But when we're talking about the third force, we're talking about people of similar ideology. They may not be the same, but there should be a binding force. We had a particular vision when we were talking about NSAS. We wanted to end bad governance. Of course, we started with NSAS, but we had other aspects of bad governance we wanted to address. We had different people from different ethnicities, different religions, but they keep into the vision. So that's what the third force should be about. Do I see it coming for the next election now? I actually don't see that coming. But our idea of the third force with people of, when it comes to people having the right ideologies, I think we also have to make it a bit, there has to be some correction in that when we talk about the third force, we usually expect that, once the third force arrives, everybody should reckon, they hit the ground running and they display. But excuse me, it took SPC or ANPP, it took whatever it took 16 years to displace PDP.
Yeah.
We had different parties coming. I would just say it was APC all along because it's still the same people. But PDP was on seat for 16 years with their machineries, their resources, their structure in quotes.
Yeah.
So as a third force, we shouldn't be just talking about next year. We should be talking about years to come. What do we want to achieve? What's the systems we are putting in place at the grassroots level? Even if it's a few people, it's a good place to start. Usually, there's this saying, it's better late than never. I also even say it's better late than later. So even if it's late, let's start. Even if we may not see the reality ourselves, but there'll be something that our children can pick up and run with.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So our definition of third force is quite flawed because we're expecting a party that comes and then shakes off APC. And I'm asking, is PDP supposed to fold their hands?
Yeah.
And just because, they've labored, they've poured in their years of experience in politics. You can imagine Tinubu saying to be the president has been his lifetime ambition. And then because you come as a third force, you just expect him to say, okay, wow, he's going to protect that ambition.
Yeah.
Same way the PDP stalwarts too. So it's not just something that we're just going to keep and get money. So do I see the possibility of a third force? Yeah. But in a short term, no.
Okay.
So we should, remove our mind from short-term gratification.
Yeah.
We should plan long-term. if we want to achieve something, how do we start long term? So that's my own opinion about
Okay.
the third person.
But do you think it's possible to go into what we have now and effect a change? You agree with me that PDP, APC, there's a lot of corruption. There are a lot of people who don't have the nation's best interest at heart. Do you think, as young people going into politics, do you think it would make sense to try to get into the system, PDP and APC now in quotes, as a chance to contest for, a position in the government? Like in the case of Banky, like in the case of Banky right now, do you think he has a chance of creating or causing positive change from the inside out?
She does. I always say something. If you have the ability to be of negative influence, then you also have the ability to be of
positive influence. Yeah.
We can look at Peter Obi. His track record are there.
Yeah.
As the one-time governor of Anambra. His track records are there. And he was in politics with the old cabals, with the old minds.
Yeah.
With the people who have ruined Nigeria, with an existing structure.
Yeah.
He was able to create a difference. We've seen people thrive in seemingly difficult situations in Nigeria. So I believe it's possible. RW can create a change if it decides to.
Yeah.
It's about determination. It's about the mindset. Will there be negative influence? Yes. If you have godfathers, will they want to use you to achieve their personal interest? Yes. But we've seen cases of godsons or godfathers fighting with their godsons in quotes. And the godsons were revolting for personal interest.
Yeah.
So, excuse me, so you can also do that for the right purpose.
Yeah.
You can break out of the shackles.
Yeah.
Yes. We had the case where we saw the former governor of Lagos. He was kicked out by the system because, of course, he wasn't playing to the gallery. We couldn't say per se he was kicked out because he wanted to serve the people. But it's also possible that even if you're kicked out of the system by the godfather, let it be that it was because he tried to serve the people.
Yeah.
So we've seen cases of revolt, but it was for personal interest, so you could also use it for the right reasons. So is it possible to create a change from the party? Yes. It's possible.
It just depends on where your heart is. Depends on where your heart is, and what your objective is for getting into the system in the first place.
And how determined you are.
Yeah.
How determined you are.
Okay.
So I would urge you. We have young examples of people who started with third forces, or not even necessarily third forces, but we've seen youth who have been in the political space at state level. We have Natasha Akpoti in Kogi State. She's moved to PDP. I believe she has what it takes because she has the vision for Kogi. We have Usman Okai, Kogi State as well. He's been in PDP. He has the drive. So for them, you can't necessarily fault their drive for now, but what can keep them going is the determination. In Plateau, we have Alex Lagan from ANN, who's now with PDP.
Yeah.
So these are people that have passion at the state level. We have Banky W now in PDP at his own level. So if we have you, fine. And I want to use this opportunity to speak to me, the youth. The idea of you breaking down the youth and saying he doesn't have structure, he doesn't have money, but you know that they have division. I think you're just digging your grave. Because I asked this question, if you know that the other person coming would be responsible for your death, would you vote him in because he has structure?
Yeah. Well, that will even lead me to what I was going to ask you next. A lot of young people, I think we need to get our game straight, because what you mentioned now, it's very appalling to see young people making some kind of comments, saying some kind of things, especially when it comes to election. They feel like it's almost as if they don't want something good to happen to the country. For real. When you hear some kind of comments they make, if you go on social media and you hear some things that people say, young people, it's very heartbreaking, because these are the people that should be championing change, right? These are the people that should be, talking about good governance, talking about, credible elections and all of that. But it just shows you how deeply corruption or the bad governance has eaten into the fiber of young people, right? So what do you think as young people we should do? This is our country and we need to take our country back, right? What are your expectations? What do you think young people can do to really cause a change, a positive change in the forthcoming elections?
Okay, to really cause a change, it starts with you and me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say kudos to you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
You may not have the bullion ban.
Yeah.
Get by the vote. And even if you have the bullion ban, I mean, that's the wrong thing to do, to buy the vote. But you're using the legitimate means you can to reach out. Yeah. So everybody in their own little corners. Don't be quiet.
Yeah.
Don't think it doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
Like, how would you think it doesn't affect you?
Yeah.
If the amount at which you're buying, the price at which you're buying right now, it's not the amount you're buying 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Whatever your income is right now, you are a percentage poorer.
Yeah.
Than what you would have 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You have buried one loved one or another to an accident, to bandits. You buried a loved one or a friend to poor medical facility. I would like to say, if you knew that your vote would cause them to die, would you have voted the person you're voting for right now?
Yeah.
So for me, let's realize that first of all, our decision
matter.
So I saw a meme saying, if you are 30 right now, realize that for the next 8 years, the choice you make would live with you for the next 8 years. And it struck me like, wow. So it's not even just about the choice I make, the choice you also make. It's going to affect me. Who is going to die in the next train attack because of a wrong choice? Who is next?
Yeah.
It's not about you having the money to live the system. If you think you have the money to live the country, what if you become informed that the planes that will be headed out of the country will be bombed by terrorists because the existing government is not doing anything to fight them?
Yeah.
So would you still be looking for structure? So let's see that this election is personal. Let's rise up. If I see someone with the right vision, with the right goals for the country, I don't care if he's going to have only one supporter. It's going to be me. If a Peter Obi, if a Kingsley Mogalo is going to come up, I don't buy into that ideology that he doesn't have the structure, or he's not going to be favored because he's from this place. Yeah. I don't buy into that ideology.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, that's me being enslaved mentally.
Right.
So it starts with me.
Right.
It starts with you. It starts with us waking up. Who are the structures? We are the structures. Yeah. We didn't need any existing party to spearhead NSAP. We did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can do it. Let's just realize that our lives right now, we're not talking about the future. Our lives is right here with our PVC. Who we choose determines a lot for Nigerians.
Yeah.
For me, let's take it personal. Let's take responsibility. Don't sit down. Whatever happens, I don't care. No, it starts with you. So from our little angles, what you're doing, creating awareness, speaking to people, let's begin to form groups and clubs. You're on group chat. Bring up this discussion. Drop your submission. It may not be taken by the group because, of course, there are different people, different ideologies.
Yeah.
But let it be that you had a say and you dropped a positive comment. You never know who you can influence Use your social media. Social media is a great tool right now.
Yeah.
Let's stop believing we are insignificant. You're not.
Exactly. And
Your
helpless.
voice is heard. Yes.
Yeah.
Even if it's just two people you can influence with your
Yeah.
voice, go on air, someone is listening to you. That's what I think we can do.
Yeah.
Our little simple.
I think we need to really realize that we are more powerful than we think, yeah, we need to take the initiative to do the things that we need to do. The last election, I discovered that some people they didn't give a damn. They were just at home. I mean, I beg anybody who emerges as winner, whatever. That's a very foolish thing to do, because what you're doing is you're leaving your future to fate. You're leaving your future to chance. Anybody can just come and decide for you. Anybody who is going to be the leader, of course, at the helm of affairs, to a large extent, is going to determine how things work for you on a very individual level. Yeah, so I think as young people, we really need to wake up and discover that we are more powerful than we think. And we need to be out there. Our voices need to be out there. Just like you've mentioned, NSAS was on another level entirely, right? If we can get to find our voice like that again as young people, I think we'll be on the right path for positive change, right? So I just want to ask concerning the zonings for APC and PDP. I mean, these are the two major parties. I mean, they'll be going at loggerheads, especially when it comes to election at the presidential level, right? Let's start with PDP. Do you think PDP is going to zone to the south?
And I think that's one of the biggest. I think that's one of the biggest suspense.
Okay.
This election is quite interesting.
Yeah.
It's just unpredictable.
Yeah.
It's so unpredictable. Before now, we could see that, okay, this is who the president is endorsing. Right now, the presidency is just mom.
Yeah.
We are seeing the people who are saying, okay, I want to. And even if it is divided, we have the Tinubu supporters, we have the Shibanjo supporters.
Yeah.
Those are the two people that are known.
Yeah.
Well, for Tinubu, you said for PDP. Let's start with PDP.
Let's start with PDP.
For PDP is very dicey because we have Atiku.
Yeah.
Whom the people believe has the structure.
Has the money, has the influence, has the weight.
That's what the people believe. That's what the people have chosen to believe.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, I don't have what it takes to say, but the people have come to accept that philosophy. But the truth is, for equity and fairness, zoning is a necessary evil for Nigeria right now because of the complexity of Nigeria. So that power can, move around, and so some people are not neglected, or some people are not, perpetually holding power.
Yeah.
Yes. But at the same time,
that's the North.
In as much as
let's just see as it is, evil, so that the North doesn't keep holding power.
I'm telling you. So now, zoning, in as much as it's a necessary evil, we can channel it rightly. So we can zone based on merit.
Yeah.
Because I believe right now is actually time for the Southeast to lead the country. They have the brains, for crying out loud. Why would we be vying for Peter Obi to be heard, or supposed to be given a chance, or for a Kingsley Moghalu to be given a chance? Those are bright minds.
Yeah.
And you are wondering, what are people thinking? If you are aware that a Peter Obi coming in would transform the country, would stop the terrorists, would stop the bad health system, even for you, if you are aware that if it's not Peter Obi that will be the president, whoever else is the president, whoever becomes the president, irrespective of who he is, I'm just giving an analogy.
Yeah.
If it's not Peter Obi, whoever becomes the president, you're going to lose your life.
Yeah.
Out of negligence. I can assure you, you will do all it takes You would support, you would speak, you would scream. Do you understand the psychology behind all of this?
Yeah.
So for me, that's why it's personal. So, but really, what it takes for PDP, we don't know. We have Wiki, declaring right now. It's interesting. We have the former governor of Bauchi. He has not declared, but we're seeing, the body language.
Signs, yeah.
And we're wondering. So we are wondering, where is this going? So we can't say.
Yeah, the thing is this. Even if let's assume the South gets the tickets, let's assume that it's been zoned to the Southeast. One thing I've noticed is that a lot of Southerners are not really interested when it comes to politics and power, which is a very wrong mindset. I think it still boils down to what we've been talking about, right? So I strongly believe that even if he gets the tickets, Peter Obi now, even if he gets the ticket, he will still need a lot of backing from his own people. Yeah, because I know when it comes to election, when it comes to power, the North, they are very coordinated, they are very interested, right? I don't know how true that is, but I believe it has some element of truth in it. And the South, somehow, they seem to be lackadaisical about politics, about power, and all of that. I hope you agree with that.
Yeah. Well, that's true. But let's also look at the dynamic.
Okay.
Right. If you go to the North, a 5-year-old is on the queue to vote because he knows that his vote will count. He's not thinking it. You have seen over time that the politics, they could rig and have their way.
Yeah.
And a Southeasterner is saying that, no matter how good they are, they go to vote and they're not given the chance to vote. Naturally, you'll be discouraged to think my votes don't count.
Yeah.
Over time, for the North, you go to government parastatals, you see Northerners occupying positions, whether they deserve it or not. And an Easterner who is doing well, the best, you see him handling his business. He has to go to the shop. He has to learn a skill. So over time, a Northerner feels the system has given me, I have to give back to the system. They are feeling literally that they are beneficiaries of the government, so they know that they are stakeholders in the government.
Yeah.
So we really can't blame the Southerners per se, but I think what you said is true, and I think we have to wake up, especially the Southerners. But the ideology as well that Peter Obi cannot win because he may not really get the vote. I just think those are ideologies that they keep selling to us to make us believe some candidates are not marketable. That's not true.
Yeah.
We saw, for instance, in the last APC convention, they just brought up a leader and said everybody step down. In other words, if the people or the leaders want someone, we didn't know Yaradua prior to when he became the president. He wasn't a household name per se.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he's the president. When, the powers that be decided time for Jonathan to become the president.
Yeah.
He wasn't so much of a household name.
Yeah.
Despite even the things he had done for Nigeria, he was still kicked out of the system. So I think that ideology of even if Peter becomes, he doesn't have to, it's not true. Let's give him the ticket. You'll realize that you have Northerners who want Nigeria to become like Dubai or like they would vote him.
Yeah.
You would have people in the middle belt who are tired of what they are seeing. They would vote him.
Yeah.
So is it only the Easterners that will vote? We have Southwesterners who believe Nigeria has to shift ground. Who vote him beyond ethnic lines and religious lines. So the idea of even if we give a Southeasterners, the people would not come out to vote. That's not true. Give them the shot. Let's see.
Okay.
So that's my own.
Okay. So let's talk about APC for a minute. I think that will be the last thing we'll talk about. So when it comes to APC, there are two very popular faces or two very popular names, Tinubu and Osubanjo. I know that there are other people. I think this guy is also coming out. The governor of Kogi State, what's his name? Yahaya Bello. I think he's also. I think I saw. I think I saw his poster somewhere.
I saw it here too.
Okay, so I think there are more people that are coming out that might want to come out on the APC platform. But,
I think
but I believe the two most popular names or faces are Tinubu and Osibanjo. So, and they are both from the southwest. So, what do you think? Who do you think is going to win among both of them?
Well, Nigeria is so unpredictable because
true.
We've not gotten to a point where we can really say these are the indications.
Yeah.
But like you said, they are the two popular faces, and a number of things are working against them.
Okay.
Tinubu is a southerner. He's a Muslim.
Yeah.
So, what does he want to achieve? Is he going to get a northern Muslim? Nigeria is a mixed country. You can't seclude some people. There are other competent candidates. Give them the shot. You claim you're the kingmaker, you've raised leaders, you believe them, raise others.
Yeah.
So you can't seclude some people. Look at the dynamics of Nigeria. The North would not now say they would just, the whole North to be represented as the vice president by a Christian. That's dicey for him.
Yeah.
So for Oshibanjo, he needs the blessing of Tinubu because Tinubu has the structures. We can't hide it. We can't. One is the
Jagaban.
That one is the governor. This one is the Senate. So what are you saying? So how do you rise against such a person?
Yeah.
Even the national, road transport workers, as little as that group is a formidable force.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can't just write against such a person. He has the sympathy of, religious groups. But if we're looking at track record, for me, my own opinion, I'm wondering, we have a professor who believes we have to share 10,000 naira in the marketplace to develop the economy. So when we have right-thinking Nigerians too, they're going to be skeptical about that option. You get.
Yeah.
So for me, APC still has a lot to do when it comes to presenting a sellable candidate. That's what I think.
So, in your opinion, Osibanjo is not.
But we have another popular candidate I didn't speak about, Yahaya Bello. For me, I don't think he just wants to make us laugh for his phone.
Okay, we spent quite some time. I would like to stop here. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you so much.
I know there's a lot to talk about, right? There's a lot to talk about. I'm sure we'll have this conversation again, but I would like us to stop here.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, I would like us to stop here for today, right? So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about the next election? Who do you think is going to win? What do you think we can do as young people to cause change, to effect change in our country? Let's not get it twisted. This is our country. No matter where we go to, just like Mary stated, we have young ones here. We have family here, right? So we need to make our nation work, right? So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section, and I'm so glad you are able to watch this video, right? See you in the next video.